Hey guys, welcome to day 10 of your training. Today I'm going to be going over forming, building relationships, and providing free value. This is going to be extremely important when you start inviting from your list of 100 and also when you're thinking about building relationships with people that you may not already have trust with. I'm going to start with forming because really that's kind of the foundation of building relationships and having conversations. And form is an acronym that stands for family, occupation, recreation, and message. And when you're talking to people like your friends and family, you probably don't need to go through this process because you already have that trust built and you already feel comfortable enough to invite them, to give what you're doing a try. This is usually very helpful when it comes to talking to people that you don't already have trust built with, or somebody maybe that you've met through, a Facebook group, something like that. So I have built a lot of my business through meeting moms through mom groups and things like that on Facebook where I don't really know them, maybe aside from little conversations here and there. But it just makes it very simple, to ask them questions about themselves so that you can kind of build that trust. And, don't look at it as intimidating or creepy. You're just having genuine conversations with people. And it's, it's not so scary when you think about it. Like you're just having conversations with a new friend. So, like I said, family, occupation, recreation, message is what FORM stands for. And a really simple way maybe to kind of get you out of your comfort zone when thinking about this if you're talking to new people is, kind of take a minute before you reach out to somebody and look at their Facebook page and look at what they seem to be interested in or things that they're doing with their family or maybe hobbies that they have, things like that. And it makes it really easy for you to just reach out and send them a message about something that you've seen on their Facebook. For example, I have a girl that I went to high school with and hadn't talked to her in about 10 years, and I saw that she got engaged. So it was very easy, instead of just liking or commenting on her post, to send her a private message and say, "Congratulations on your engagement." And it simply starts a conversation, and you're being genuine. You're building that relationship. So it doesn't have to be scary. It doesn't have to be, a crazy, "Hey, haven't talked to you in 10 years. I'm a Beachbody coach now." You don't want to do that. So, take that fear factor out of it and just think about it like you're really having, genuine conversations and making friendships. So write that acronym down and think about it when you're reaching out to people. The second thing I want to talk about is with building relationships, especially when you get into, having that trust a little bit where you feel that maybe it's time to talk about their health and fitness goals. You want to ask open-ended questions. Otherwise, your conversations are probably going to dwindle pretty fast, and you're not really going to get to know too much about people if you don't ask open-ended questions. So, for example, when I'm talking to somebody and they, express some interest in a challenge group or in a specific program, or if I get a message and somebody, says, "I want to know more about the 21-day fix," I kind of slow the process down and I say, "Is it okay if I ask you some questions about your goals so that I can, best suggest what would be a good fit for you?" And always everybody says yes because, of course, they want something that's going to work for them. So some examples of open-ended questions I start with. In the beginning, typically I ask about their fitness. I ask do they want to lose weight? If so, how much? Are they currently exercising at all? What type of workouts do they typically like? How much time do they have a day to commit to working out? That can kind of narrow it down a lot just when you ask those questions, because if they're, if they only have 25 minutes a day, suggesting, the original Insanity that has 45-minute workouts is not going to be a good fit. They'd be better off with a program that has half-an-hour workouts. So, and if they tell you they don't like high intensity, that right there will tell you, maybe something like PIO would be a better fit. So anyways, after you go through those questions, then you can really kind of dig into the nutrition aspect with them. And typical questions I would ask are, how is your current diet? Do you struggle with knowing what to eat or portions of what to eat? Or coming up with meals that work for you? Do you have low energy? Do you have cravings? How do you sleep at night? Things like that really allow me to know if a program like 21 Day Fix would be a good fit for them. Because if they struggle with knowing what to eat or portion control, it's then very simple to say, we have this awesome program that's all inclusive and it will teach you how to eat properly, things like that. So by asking these open-ended questions, you can really get an awesome perspective on what this person really specifically needs to be able to reach their goals. And I typically like to jot down really short notes when I'm talking to somebody so that I know this, and when I'm following up with them, I know specifically things that they're struggling with that I can help them along with. So those are just kind of the basic questions that I ask when I'm talking to people. You can get more in depth if people, say that they need low intensity because they have injuries or things like that. Be very aware of what people are telling you. Don't just kind of write it off and, be quick to jump and suggest something. Take all that information in, so that you can use it to your best ability to help them. Also, I wanted to talk about providing free value. And a really great personal development book to read if you really don't know about the power of giving and, free value is called The Go-Giver. I read that pretty early on when I started coaching, and it's extremely helpful for you to realize that, the more you give, the more it's going to pay off. So, for example, if you're talking to somebody and maybe they're not ready to sign up yet, but they've told you that they struggle with putting together healthy meals during the week because they don't have a lot of time, that would be, a really good time for you to maybe pull up a couple recipes. You can find them on Pinterest or a blog or, maybe a fellow coach you've seen post recipes, and send them a couple recipes and say, hey, here's, a couple recipes that maybe you could try next week and see how they work out for you. And this continues, to allow you to build that relationship and build that trust so that they can see that you're really wanting to help them. Excuse me, I have a cold. So, also, down the road, it's a little bit tough when you're new because it's so many things at one time. But down the road, it's really awesome to run free groups. For example, I run a free healthy eating on a budget group once a month, and it's a really awesome thing for me to have going because I can plug people in, that really want to start being healthier but maybe can't afford to start a program, or they're kind of overwhelmed at thinking, what a big change it is to make. So I can plug them into a free group where I can provide free value. They can kind of see how much I have to offer as a coach, and it allows me to continue to build that relationship. So that's just something to keep in mind down the road, that you can run free groups, free clean eating groups, free eating healthy on a budget groups. You can run whatever you like, whatever your interests are. If, you like running, you could do a couch to 5K, for a month running group, something like that. You can get creative and put your personality into these free groups, and just really learn how to provide free value to people as a coach. So I guess that's basically all I wanted to touch on for this, but I just want to remind you guys that forming and building relationships is a process, and it often takes time. You really don't want to rush this because often people really need your help, but they need to have that comfortable level with you where they trust you enough to want your help. I've talked to people for over 6 months sometimes before they trusted me enough to want to sign up, and that's totally okay. And you might have the opposite where you talk to somebody for 2 days and they're ready to sign up. It just really depends on where that person is at, and that's why you need to be just open-minded and take time with the process and really get to know people and build those relationships so that you can ultimately help them to your best ability. I hope this was helpful. If you guys have questions, please post below. I would be happy to answer them. And if you have any specific situations or specific questions, I would be happy to answer those too. Have a good day.